bit about some of the things that you've seen over the years.
I just see just more violence. That's what disturbs me. In the neighborhoods, some of these neighborhoods, and a lot of the young individuals that are committing a lot of this violence and the drugs, the escalation again into more serious drug problems with our youth, going into the heroin, more dangerous drugs. The children that are using these prescription drugs a lot, they're getting it out of mom or dad's medicine cabinet. These things are frightening. That some of these kids are depending on a lot of that chemical dependence and everything, and it's out there. And the public in general, maybe they just have to be more aware of what's going on around there. If you've got kids, if you've got young adults or whatever that are living in your house, going back to this situation, this crime earlier or last week, his history of drug abuse and the suspect and that, it's a changing society, and with this the onset of social media, that's leading to more and more instances of bullying and kids getting on this and vicious verbal attacks on the internet and Facebook, Twitter, and that. And it's just leading to more and more complicated things. We're urging these women to come forth, because also the kids are suffering. I mean, these kids are in this house and see mom get abused, and then the kids, they grow up, they think it starts to reoccur in their later life and something like that. But again, we see the dark side of society day in and day out. I look at all these reports, I see all this and everything else. But
you talk about things in general, more violence today. It
Mm-hmm.
seems like it's escalating and so forth. What about your hometown of Gary? I mean, when you grew up there. You got a real soft spot for Gary, and then you see that it is the murder capital of America. It's one of the most feared cities in America. How does that make you feel?
It saddens me. I mean, I grew up in that, and I go through that area, and a lot of people give me some heat. Well, why do you pay so much attention to Gary and everything? And well, again, I go back to the fact, if you don't take care of one situation, it's going to spread. It's going to escalate into other communities. But I go into those areas, and everybody says, "Oh, it's a murder and gangs and drugs and everything else." But you go in those areas, there's good people there. These hardworking people that are established, they got homes over there, and all they want to do is live peacefully, as good, good spiritual lives. They go to church and everything else, and they try to do good things with their life. They got a good education. They knew, what they wanted to do in life and everything. They work in the mills or whatever kind of menial job it is or whatever. But those are the ones that you have to look at. How would you like to live in a neighborhood where somebody's going by shooting? You got loud music at 3 o'clock in the morning. Somebody's trying to break into your house every other day on the block. I mean, it's just, and again, if you don't take care of it in one area, it's going to escalate into another area, and it does.
511. We're talking to Lake County Sheriff John Buncich. So when were you first a policeman?
1971.
So 1971. So let's look at this. 81, 91, 01, 11, 42 years.
Right. Took a break for a while between terms here.
Yeah, so
but I point out too, the 71, when we first came on, we went to the academy for 6 or 8 weeks, and that was it. Now, thankfully, the academy's 16 weeks, 15, 16 weeks, and they're giving more extensive training in all these areas to these young police officers, these men and women. We had to deal with domestic violence situations when I first came on. Go to the house, split the man and the woman up, and then make a report and go home. That's it. Now you take a little bit closer look. There's laws that protect the victims. We see something, law enforcement sees something, we're going to arrest you on the spot to save a life. It's going to save a life, believe me.
Let's go to Mad Mac on line 2.